Hello everyone, this is Dr. Alex Avila with Love University, and we're back. I'm an author, psychologist, and speaker. Every week we talk about how to love yourself, others, and a higher nature, how to improve your finances, career, health, relationships, and spirituality. Today we'll continue our series on Loveq, a transformative intelligence that unites unconditional self-love with a higher nature, the universal loving energy that many call God or spirit. When you have a high Loveq, the world opens up for you. Problems diminish, your confidence increases, and your joy abounds. As we mentioned last time, Loveq consists of 7 powers, inner forces that you have. One of which is the topic for today, the higher nature. We're going to continue today talking about how to befriend your higher nature within. Just like building a long-term relationship with a loyal friend, creating a loving bond with your higher nature requires consistent presence and heartfelt communication. Although accessing this majestic force may seem like a lofty and unattainable goal, it is definitely within your reach. All you have to do is connect with the higher nature on a daily basis. When you do this, you unleash its tremendous resources of wisdom, compassion, and peace to work in your favor. To tap into your inner source of upliftment, practice the following exercises. Number 1, prayer walking. Prayer walking is an excellent way to spend time with the higher nature. You speak to them while exploring your environment and noticing the beauty and goodness of life. Try it this week. Spend an hour or half an hour every day walking in your neighborhood or somewhere in nature. Go by yourself so your mind can focus fully on the experience. When you see a tall tree, you can pray. Speak to the higher nature in your mind. Let me be big and strong like this tree. If you're at the park and see a bird flying around, you can think, allow me to fly free of the burdens of negativity so I can soar to my fullest higher nature. If you're at a beach, lake, or river, say to yourself, I would like to flow and harmonize like the water I see. If your schedule prevents regular outdoor strolls, practice prayer walking indoors. Move mindfully around your home or office. See the higher nature in everything around you. Your pets, the plants that nourish your surroundings, and even the objects that faithfully support your daily life. Your favorite shoes, toothbrush, the cozy pillow. Even brief moments of mindful walking indoors can maintain your strong connection to your exalted force within. When you prayer walk, you unite with the higher nature and see the glorious majesty in everything. With an all-encompassing feeling of love and appreciation, you realize that all things are created and supported by the higher nature. They contain the wonderful ingredient that permeates all, pure love. When you perform daily tasks with the awareness that you're a channel of divine creativity, your entire life becomes a spiritual practice. You no longer separate the sacred from the mundane. Everything you do reflects your growing bond with the higher nature. Once you begin to feel the spirit of the higher nature in your everyday activities, you're ready to express its presence through your physical form, beginning with your eyes, ears, and mouth. Put on the face of the higher nature. In this exercise, you make the higher nature visible by recognizing it in your own features. Start by examining your face in the mirror and imagine that it represents the qualities of the friend: compassion, gratitude, peace, love, and optimism. Do the following. Number 1, absorb your eyes. Think of the way you look at others when you meet them. You may see them with curiosity or indifference, empathy or apathy. As you observe people throughout the day, imagine that you're emanating the compassion and love of the higher nature through your eyes. Number 2, tune into your ears. Listen to others with the ears of the higher nature. Instead of impatiently waiting for your turn to speak, focus completely on what the other person is saying. Absorb their words as well as their nonverbal signals. You're not just hearing them, you're receiving them fully with awareness and empathy. This kind of listening is a gift that heals loneliness and builds trust. Number 3, carefully examine your mouth. From your mouth arise words that can harm or heal, create or destroy. Use your mouth for good and loving purposes, to build, uplift, and express caring and affection. Instead of speaking with excessive anger or harsh criticism, select your words carefully to extend empathy, wisdom, and compassion where it will do the most good. When you express the face of the higher nature in your daily life, you become a stronger and more joyous person. Whether you see the higher nature as a divine presence with a face, or simply as pure radiant energy, it is always a source of expansive love. And finally, turn your attention to the purest expression of the higher nature. Be like the sun. Extend loving energy without expectation. One of the most effective ways to increase your Loveq, love intelligence, is to extend loving energy without expectation. This is the secret of the higher nature within, to be like the sun. Think of the sun and the way it shines its light and warmth on everyone. The young, the old, the beautiful, the not so beautiful, the rich and the poor. Some people love the sun and lay out to receive its rays. Others dislike it. They cover up and avoid it as much as possible. But the sun doesn't take it personally. It doesn't get upset or withhold its energy when people retreat from its heat and light. It just keeps shining. Be like the sun when you exude the love of the higher nature. Express your kindness, caring, and compassion without expecting anything in return. Do this regardless of how others react to your warmth and positive energy, whether they accept it or not. When you extend loving energy in this way, you're manifesting a pure and powerful form of affection and caring. It is a type of unfiltered love that can be found between parents and their small child, or between an owner and their pet. They love each other faithfully and unconditionally. This love without expectation is a universal pattern of abundant energy, known by various names such as agape, unconditional love, karuna, compassion, and bhakti, devotion. It influences other energies to move toward wholeness and creates a healing consciousness. When you smile, listen, and are kind to others, you're in loving resonance with them. You enter a remarkable field of oneness and unity in which balance, peace, and power become your daily companions. As your Loveq rises, you feel yourself drawing closer to the higher nature. Playing a distinctive and beautiful chord of self-value, you learn to honor yourself as a creation of a divine force that has an immense capacity to give and receive. Your Loveq reaches its highest expression when it is infused with the presence of the higher nature. This connection fuels lasting growth, broadens your emotional awareness, and enables you to love with wisdom and compassion. By reaching this peak of pure love, you achieve harmony between yourself and the higher nature. No longer seeing it as separate, you and the higher nature transcend ordinary existence. Although some people think that accessing the higher nature is a difficult concept to understand, it really isn't. It is simply the culmination of all the goodness, love, mercy, and power in the universe. When you see a young couple immersed in love, you see the higher nature. When you observe a parent protecting a child from danger, you're in the presence of the friend. When you witness an elderly spouse saying goodbye to their beloved life partner, you're face to face with the embodiment of timeless love. When you observe the beauty of nature, trees, animals, and sunshine, you catch a glimpse of the majesty of the higher nature. Representing the ultimate loving energy of the universe, this benevolent force can help you sever ties with spiritual disconnection, say goodbye to bad me, and empty yourself of external chase. With the higher nature as your companion and guiding light, you experience a special feeling called flow, the enhanced state of mind in which you forget your problems and become one with the world. In this joyful state, you finally understand that we are all united by a presence, the higher nature, whose power is infinite yet exquisitely gentle. You also recognize a marvelous truth. All of creation moves from perfection to perfection. Everything that exists is already perfect and complete in its own way. In nature, a rosebud, the flower of a rose plant, is perfect. When it is half open, it is a perfect unfolding flower. When it fully blooms, it becomes a perfect open flower. As it fades, it is a perfect withered flower. And when the flower's life is complete, the plant continues to produce new roses. It eventually enters perfect dormancy, resting in stillness until it blooms again. You too will go through various life stages that represent the emergence and unfolding of you as a perfect creation of the higher nature. As a child, you were perfect in your own way. Then as you became an adolescent, you were perfect in your unique style. Then as a young, middle-aged, and older adult, you were and still are perfect, just as you were created. And finally, as you get older and eventually die, you will have a perfect transition to the higher nature. With this perspective, you perceive everything and everyone in life as equally magnificent. You see the intrinsic beauty of all things without the interference of your mental interpretation and judgment. This is good, that is bad. By understanding the perfection of the higher nature, you realize that you have nothing to worry about, nothing to fear. Even the fear of death will vanish from your mind because you're firm in the belief that everything that happens to you will be perfect in its own way, including what happens to you after death. When you're in this exalted state of consciousness, your I-ness becomes universal oneness. Instead of seeing yourself as a separate form and perceiving other humans as isolated entities, you understand that your true self and the essence of others are unified into one grand symphony of the higher nature. You won't merely have a relationship with the world, you are the world. You don't just have love for others, you are love personified, the most potent force in the universe. With this undeniable power, you're ready to care for the world with all of your heart, mind, and soul. Welcome home. Your higher nature awaits. So, Love University students, you have a very powerful assignment ahead of you. It's to connect with your higher nature within, to befriend it, just like you would a friend, someone who is loyal, trustworthy, and loving, someone who always has your back. That is what the higher nature means to you. So it's not about religion or even a spiritual practice. It is about your internal power that is already connected within you that you need to activate. To befriend your higher nature within, you begin by prayer walking, spending time each day talking to the higher nature as you walk around in different parts of your environment. Put on the face of the higher nature. See the higher nature's gratitude, optimism, love, compassion through your eyes, your ears, and your mouth. And finally, be like the sun. Extend loving energy without expectation. Smile at people, give them sincere compliments, help them in any way you can, without expecting anything in return, just like the sun does, just like the higher nature does. When you do this, you will return to the essence of your truth, which is your higher nature within. So, Love University students, go out this week, live with self-acceptance, love yourself, love others, and love the higher nature. And by the way, follow me on Instagram at Dr. Alex Avila. That's DrAlexAvila. And if you comment on the show, we will select some of the featured comments to read on air to inspire our Love University community. And now the moment has arrived. Put away your notebooks, your iPads, your phones. Love University class is now dismissed. This is Dr. Alex Avila.